Hey, how's it going?
Good. Okay, hit me with the first question.
Okay. So this is a really important question. Everyone's asking it. Why doesn't the scale always tell the truth?
So the scale doesn't tell the truth all the time because at the end of the day, we're 80% in water. So the scale's gonna go up or down because some days we're holding more water, some inflammation, bloating, maybe we ate a later meal, the food isn't digested yet. So the scale has a delayed effect with what's actually going on beneath the surface. And once you get that, you can grasp that idea and you're okay with it not always going down, because what you gotta understand is it goes up and down as it permanently goes down. Once you become okay with that, then you can actually push through and do what you have to do, which is not drastic dieting or hours of cardio, and stick to the proper plan. But basically, it's a delayed effect.
Yeah, it doesn't always tell the truth and it is delayed. But what about like somebody that looks like way tinier, but their weight is the same? What happened there?
What do you mean way tinier?
Like, let's say they lost fat, but their weight is the same. What happened?
If you gain muscle and you lost fat at the same time, which is known as a body recomposition, your weight on the scales will stay the same, but you as a person have changed. Your body composition, if you get it right, you have more muscle, you have less fat, that's what's going to set you up in the long run. So you have, first of all, regular hormones, a good foundation, like good muscle tone, that's going to set you up for the long run. So that person's in a better position than someone who weighs a little less but has more body fat.
Okay.
So that's why the number on the scale, if you're 50 pounds overweight, yes, the number on the scale is going to matter. And that's why you might need a coach so you can distinguish what is your priority. You know what I mean? Like sometimes eating clean and healthy, which is like chia seeds and pumpkin seeds, they're actually healthy. But for you, your number one priority right now is to get your weight down. So you're looking for lower caloric type of foods. You're looking for foods with lower calories.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And once you understand this game of what you got to do, that's when you start winning.
Okay. So, if the scale isn't that important, then what are good measures of progress?
Okay, if the scale isn't that important, how you look and feel, first of all, knowing, is your energy more stable? Is your mood more stable? You're getting the right timing of food throughout the day. You're getting the right balanced meals. Now you feel better. You got a clear mind. Okay, that's first your step number one. That's like you changing. And that's what people don't get. It happens beneath the surface first. The scale is a delayed effect.
Yeah.
So how you feel first. Number two, how are your clothes fitting, right? Do you feel less bloated? Because we know when we feel bloated, like it just feels nasty. You're feeling less bloated. When you eat food, it's being digested a little bit better, right? You're craving more food now. You want more water. You're like actually getting back into alignment. That's the first two steps. The scale will change, but you don't need to worry about too much in the beginning.
Okay, so like energy, how your clothes are fitting, your mood, I think that's a huge one, right?
Yeah,
your mood
that's the biggest one.
Once you start to notice your mood is improving, that's when you know, okay, I'm getting progress. Your body, the whole system of your body is starting to like what's happening.
Yeah, you know, when my clients talk to me in the beginning when they want to sign up, what they say to me is, I just want to feel better. Because when you feel better, you know you're on the right track.
Yeah.
And everything else becomes a little more easier. Like if you've tried drastic dieting, you've tried all these crazy things, halfway through, you don't even feel good. So now you're confused. I don't feel good. I have less energy.
Yeah.
What's going on? Is this how you feel? Like, no, a healthy and fit person feels good.
Okay. So
That's why you got to have proper macros and nutrients, because that's how you feel better. Go ahead.
That's good. That's going to take me into my next question is, how come I'm eating 1,000 calories every single day and I'm working out 5 days a week, but I'm not seeing results? Like, what's going on?
Okay. First of all, if you ever tell me you're eating only 1,000 calories, I better see a log of it in your MyFitnessPal, because if you're guessing, there is a huge chance you're off. So if you can show me the last 2 months or 1 month or 3 weeks, proof that you're eating 1,000 calories, now I know you even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Most people that talk about calories, they don't even know the first thing. They tell me they're eating 1,000 calories. I ask them, hey, do you know how many calories, how many in that peanut butter you're eating? Do you know how many calories in that peanut butter? And they might not even know. So how are you such an expert with your calories when really you don't even know what's going on? So that's my first step, is I want to actually find out what's the truth. What are you really eating? Maybe you're eating 1,000 calories Monday to Thursday. And maybe Friday, as soon as you're off work at 3 o'clock, the floodgates open, and that weekend is 2,000 calories, 3,000 calories, and you make up for all of that.
Yeah.
And the worst part about that is because you might actually eat 1,000 calories during the week, you put your body into fight or flight. All your hormones are off, your cortisol spiked to the roof. You do that, and then you pair that with overeating the weekends. That's the recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's why when you find out what you're actually eating and tracking it, it's a game changer.
Yeah, I think eating and tracking is also really important. And I think that we need to start to move away from people saying that you need to eat less calories to lose weight, because that's not necessarily how our bodies are made up of. Like they need you, in order to see results, you need fuel. So like think of your body like a car. A car needs fuel to operate. That's what you need, right?
Yeah.
So
I think at the end of the day, if you're on this health and fitness journey, you're trying to escape the rat race. The rat race is always you eating less and doing cardio, or you eating less, or you skipping events. End goal is that you get yourself into a good state, a good body, right? But you escape the rat race by speeding up your metabolism so you can eat as much as your friends and family, if not even more, and still have enough energy and look amazing. But to get there, you have to build your metabolism back up. So eating 1,000 calories, you're destroying your metabolism. If you're always in that teardown phase, you're always destroying your body, what do you think is going to happen once you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s? You never built it back up. That's your mistake. So once we escape the rat race and actually set our body up for long-term success, you're winning.
Yeah. So, okay, talking about calories, how are your clients eating butter chicken, pizza, fries, drinking on the weekends, and they're all seeing results? Like, what is this voodoo magic that you have going on that people are seeing results doing this?
So there's a lot of strategic planning that gets involved with that. Eating butter chicken, eating pizza, eating chicken wings, ice cream, chocolate, it's capable, but you got to know what you're doing. You need to know the right ins and outs. So tracking calories, eating the foods you want and still losing weight, yes, it's possible. But if you don't have the right plan, and you don't really have experience, or if you have someone that can kind of get you out of choppy waters, because along the way you might fall off track. If you don't have someone to get you out of choppy waters, you get stuck in that no man's land where I think a lot of people get stuck in. But it's about front loading your protein, right? If I was to tell my client right now and he wanted to eat butter chicken this weekend, so my client came out to me and said, hey, Arsh, I got to eat butter chicken this weekend. What's the game plan? First of all, I'm going to say, okay, no problem, do it. Make sure you front load your protein, meaning before you get to that party, eat enough protein so that your blood sugars and everything in your system is regulated. Don't overdo the carbs. Don't overdo the fats, right? Just eat less and actually make room for that butter chicken. Then it's possible, because butter chicken is food that you can use to still lose weight if you know what you're doing. Yeah.
So is that kind of this whole eat smart system that you're talking about?
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time? Like,
so eating smart is a skill that every single person needs to learn in their life once, like eventually. Because if you're a parent and you have kids and you don't understand how to explain to them how to eat correctly, they're going to grow up and their energy levels and their mind and everything's going to be all out of whack. So why not teach your kids as well what the right portions are, what the right sizes are, how protein works, what to stay away from? That's such a crucial skill for any person to learn.
I think eating healthy and all of this is the most underlearned topic out there. Like, they never taught us any of this in school. Like, we were just winging it. Like, there was no idea. And I think it's so important that we need to know how to eat healthy, because you're right. It does impact the family, right? Like the mom, the dad, the grandparents, and then the kids, and then their friends and cousins and loved ones. And so many other people are impacted, because we've seen our clients, one person in a family will make a change, right? They join the program, they start to see results, they become healthier. Suddenly their partner has now lost 20 pounds. Suddenly their kids are more interested in eating healthier. And it's like this trickle down effect on everybody, and it makes a huge positive impact. And now everybody knows how to eat better. Yeah,
I think once you understand that what you don't fix, you pass on to your kids, passing on bad eating habits to your kids is worse than debt. Anyone can get themselves out of financial debt. You put your kid into some sort of a bad health debt, That's what's really going to impact them. So like you're trying to set your family up for long-term success, right? Financially, everything perfect. But also if you want your grandkids and their kids to be healthy, you set your kids up with the right, mindset, just simple strategies of how to eat right, tell them what a good plate looks like. You set them up.
Yeah.
That ripple effect will last for generations. Like you're doing so good for your like entire timeline, your family, if you teach them how to eat right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as parents, like I always think of it being like you are your child's tour guide in this world. Like you're showing them everything. You're showing them around and how things should be. And if you don't even know where you're going or what you're doing, then how can you expect them to know, right?
Yeah.
So
and kids, especially younger kids, they're only going to pick up on what they see.
Yeah.
So they're going to see, obviously, you're not always able to play with them. You're not always able to have a good mood and just be there for them. They're going to pick up on that. Energy is crucial. That's why most people in my program, when they see amazing results with their body, they say that they got more energy for their kids. They got more mental energy, physical energy for their kids. And that's the greatest gift of eating healthy.
Yeah.
Being a better version of you, it raises the tide for everyone in your family, right? A tide raises the boats. Once you get healthy, you literally just elevate your entire family.
100%. You're just happier overall.
Yeah.
So why do all these diets out there not work for people? Like things like keto, things like intermittent fasting. There's people out there that are like, I did keto, I did intermittent fasting, I did like 700 calories a day. I don't even know what other, carnivore. There's hundreds of diets out there, but why do they not work?
The problem is they don't work long-term. Diets don't work long-term. Diets will work short-term, but what's your goal? Do you just want to only be in shape for 2 months?
Yeah.
Do you only want to lose 15 pounds? And the problem with diets is it's all a part of that yo-yo effect, right? Like every time you destroy your body by drastically eating the wrong foods, and then you gain the weight back, and then it's just repeated abuse on your body, right? Like you got to learn how to love your body. Self-work equals self-love. And if you're not treating your body right, instead you're like grinding it, taking it, dragging it through the grinder, right? Like what's that actually doing for you in the long run? So
why do you think people do that? Is it because
desperation?
Desperate.
When I was 40 pounds overweight and I was desperate, that's exactly what I did.
Like you want like really quick results all the time.
All I did was hours of cardio, starved myself, felt like crap, lost some weight because the scale is what I was like my holy grail, lost some weight, but then I gained it back. So I was stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
But I panicked. Like I remember one time, where was it? I forgot where it was. Nothing fit me. I panicked to the point where before I even went out one night, I started doing crunches. And I thought that was going to do something for me, but that's sheer panic and desperation.
Yeah.
And once you get out of that and you get to a point where you actually have freedom with the foods you're eating, and you give yourself, let's say 4 to 6 months. Like how fast do 6 months actually fly by? You give yourself 4 to 6 months, right? You do what you got to do. You make the sacrifices. Your friends and family, they're still going to be there when the 6 months are up. You're going to be a completely new person, right? You're going to show up to these events and people are not even going to understand what you've done to change, but they're going to sense it. You're going to walk around with that lighter energy. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to smile more. People see that off of you, right? But you got to dedicate 4 to 6 months once in your life to eating right and changing your body so that it's set up now permanently for the long run.
Yeah. And I think it becomes pretty addicting after that too.
Yeah.
Like
it becomes an autopilot.
Like you just stacked all of these good habits and then you feel so good. So then it's like, if I feel good all the time, why would I not want to do this anymore? And it becomes your whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What was my next question? So what time should I stop eating at night to lose weight?
I would say, honestly, if you stop eating 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep, that's going to set you up for an amazing sleep. But if you need to eat because you have a goal of calories, protein, and just because it's late at night, you stop eating, you don't even know the first thing you're doing now. And someone's going to explain to you that that's not going to give you any weight gain in the long run. That actually might help you because if we undereat all the time, we skip meals, we don't eat protein because we're scared it's nighttime, you're going to go to the point where your body gets into a catabolic state and starts eating away at the muscle you've built. You work so hard to build a muscle. Why would you let even a single ounce go, right? So eating at night is not going to mess you up if you do it every once in a while. It will mess up your sleep. Like, I don't know if you know this, but 80% of the weight you lose is through your sleep. So a good quality sleep sets you up. It burns so many more calories for you. It helps you really go into that fat loss mode, a really good quality sleep. So eating late at night, yes, it's not going to actually make you gain weight, but it will screw up your sleep. And screwing up your sleep does come through the back door and mess up your progress overall.
So you're saying that if I eat at 10 o'clock at night, but I'm in my calorie range, I'm not going to gain fat.
No, you're not going to gain fat if you're in your calorie range.
Okay.
Will you have a less than ideal sleep that night? Probably.
Yeah.
Right? Will you wake up groggy? And then also maybe will that impact your mental health the next day? So you might make a bad choice. So everything has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So if you can, get a good night quality sleep so you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
So you can live to fight another day. Because when you're in a calorie deficit, it's not easy. People think it's just about, oh, I'm going to have the motivation. There are days where you drive by like a junk food place and you want to eat that food. You smell it. There are days where you want to and you just keep going anyways. But if you have a good quality sleep, you feel good, you do some meditation, you work your mental health, now you're armoring up for when you get hungry and you can fight that urge.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a little devil on your shoulder. You got to fight it. But if you kind of armor up, then you're chilling.
Okay. All right. That's good. 2 to 3 hours before sleep. Okay. Why is it so hard for women to lose their belly fat, to lose that mom pooch? What is that all about?
I think right now it's becoming better, but a lot of women don't want to do any strength training, right? They think about only doing cardio and cutting out all their carbs and eating salads.
Yeah.
To lose a mom pooch, you have to start toning your body. Also, not only for the mom pooch, but setting yourself up so once you enter your 40s, even late 30s, your hormones don't really take a beating on your body. You got to start strength training now.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to turn into a bodybuilder, but you will have a better metabolism. You will have more energy. You're going to have better digestion. You're not going to have as much bloating.
Yeah.
So strength training will help you with a mommy pooch as well, but it's also going to help you just as a woman kind of regain that quality of life that you want.
Yeah. I think like what a lot of people don't understand, they think that their whole belly is just fat, especially for women, like after you have kids. And that muscle that stretched out when you were pregnant, it has a hard time going back in. And so that whole core, your lower abdominals, that TVA of your entire muscle, all of that is so underworked. Like nobody's working on that and nobody's going through rehab to fix their abdominal muscle. So I think that's really important too, right? Like incorporating the core and the strength and all that for women.
So what are the best exercises to get rid of mom pooch?
Okay, so obviously first, in order to reduce the belly fat in your belly, you're going to have a calorie deficit and shed off some fat. But to tighten up that area that's been stretched out through probably multiple pregnancies, you do have to do some exercises to tighten it up. So things like dead bugs, things like glute bridges, things like bird dogs, side planks, even frontal planks, like up on your elbows or up on your hands as well. All those are going to help to start tighten up that muscle and really start to make everything feel a little bit more snatched instead of like loose.
Nice. So now that you're 13 months postpartum, what are the top 3 things that you did to get yourself back in shape?
Okay. To get back in shape, top things I did. Okay. So I didn't always have time to work out, right? So what I did was I prioritized working out 2 days a week. 2 days a week, I'm doing full body workouts. I'm not trying to do a push day, a leg day, a pull day, because I don't have the time for that. And so 2 days, I can dedicate that. 2 days, 30 to 40 minute sessions of a full body workout. I can do that. Another thing I did is I try to increase my steps. Now, for a lot of moms, naturally, you might get a lot of steps because you have kids, you're running around after them, you have 100 errands, you're cleaning and all that stuff. If I couldn't get out for a walk, my steps with just like cleaning and doing things around the house, that's how they accumulated. So working out 2 days a week, full body workouts, getting your steps in. And then number 3, prioritizing my protein. I really just want to have a peanut butter toast for every single meal because it's really easy. But trust me, when you start eating protein, your body loves it. It's been through a lot. You grew a human. And there's a lot of trauma that your body has gone through and it needs to heal. And it can't heal if it doesn't have good quality food. You need to have some protein. You need to have, lots of greens, healthy carbs, all this going into your body. So my mindset in this pregnancy that I went through postpartum was like, I'm going to be eating to heal myself afterwards. The last time I was pregnant with my first pregnancy, I was eating to lose weight. And that mindset shift needs to happen in order to get in a healthy place, because why are we punishing ourselves? You've done the most miraculous, wonderful thing in life, and then you're punishing yourself. So I think that you need to be eating to nourish yourself.
Yeah.
So protein's really important. Full body workout days, 2 times a week. Get those steps in.
Yeah. I think you touched on a really good point, protein. If I was 40 pounds overweight and I want to start eating healthy and clean now, and meal prep really stressed me out, the number one tip I would say is just make sure you have that protein ready to go.
Yeah.
You can always make a bunch of different variations with that protein, but it's really hard to cook protein every single day fresh, unless you have all the time in the world. So if you have a batch cooked amount of protein in your fridge, and you understand that eating healthy to lose weight just means having protein and having 1 or 2 different types of carbs ready to go, you're set. Chicken and rice, chicken and sprouted bread, chicken and a wrap, right? Chicken on its own with, let's say,
a salad or something.
A salad on the side.
Yeah.
As long as the protein is ready to go, you're set, right? And if even protein itself is stressing you out, make sure you get yourself some pre-marinated meats. If I want to lose weight and I need to do this on my own and had a meal prep, I would just make sure I find 3 or 4 different marinades of chicken that's ready to go. And I would always just cycle through that.
Yeah.
That's it. You're eating for a purpose right now. You're eating to get in shape. And yeah, you get to pick 4 different types of chicken every week. You get to have different carbs. Like once you develop some gratitude and say, you know what, it's okay to be on a little bit of a diet. I think that's the biggest thing hold people back, right? But having protein ready to go for your meal prep is a cheat code.
Yeah.
Trying to get in shape.
Especially I think for busy people. Like people are busy. They have 100 things going on. You woke up early, went through a whole work day, and now you're at home, and now you got to start figuring out what's for dinner. But if you've already prepared that protein, you have it in your fridge, you can literally make a dish in like 5 minutes for anybody in your family.
Yeah. If you're trying to lose weight and you learn how to use skip the dishes in your favor, and you order meals that are lower in calories, that have high protein, and you can do the research on what has what type of calories by using MyFitnessPal, you learn a couple of things. Now you're lethal. Now you can order your meal on the way home from work, or you get home, you can shower, you can chill, don't have to go back in traffic, and you learn how to eat the right foods from skip the dishes. It's still possible for you to lose weight.
Yeah.
That is something that people aren't using right now. And I always use like meat shops that are in my area. Yeah. And I just order pre-marinated meats to the house over and over and over and over again.
So your clients are like eating out?
My clients are eating out. Let's say they want to go to Chipotle. I would tell them what the right order from Chipotle is. Maybe there's no avocado. Maybe there's no guac. Maybe it's half the rice. Maybe it's double the chicken. Stay away from sour cream. It's still doable. Maybe it's order 1 bowl, eat half now, eat half for your dinner.
Yeah.
It's still doable if you know what you're doing.
That's true. So you tell them what to do? Like, is this like, how does that work?
So I have
how does this whole coaching thing work?
So for me specifically, I have my own private app that I can talk to my coaches in real time. I have my own private app that I can talk to my clients in real time. So if they're struggling, like let's say it's 2:00, I have a busy mom in my program. She had no time to eat any food. She can message me in my app and tell me, hey, Arsh, it's 2:00. I haven't had anything to eat right now. I have X, Y, and Z in my fridge. What's the best thing that I can eat today so I can stay on track?
Yeah.
I'm going to give her the answer in real time. Now think about how much that's helped her win the day.
Yeah.
When you're trying to lose weight, having a coach in your corner telling you the ins and outs of your lifestyle is the best thing you can do, because there's a plan and then there's you. Now, how you bridge you and that plan is where I come in, because you don't need a master plan. You just need to learn how to master the plan. And that's what this is about. What are you, Lewis House?
I'm Lewis.
You're funny.
I am Lewis.
Yeah.
It does look like a studio. So what do you think about Ozempic and all these weight loss drugs that are on the market?
I think Ozempic is something that should be probably used by about 10% of the people that are actually using it. If you've been thrown a lifeline and you need it to survive, it's a it's amazing, right? Great, you can survive. But if you want to learn how to thrive in your life and you're always stuck on Ozempic, you never learn the skills of who you need to be, how you need to eat, how you can go through bad weekends and get to the other side where the grass is greener. If you never learn that skill, what's the end goal here? What's the end game?
Is that why we're seeing people that went on Ozempic, they got off of it, and now they're gaining all this weight back?
They're
right?
gaining the weight back, but now they're gaining that weight back as a weakened version of themselves.
Yeah.
Their hair is falling out. They're weaker. They feel less connected with their digestive system, which is your second brain.
Yeah.
Like you're not in alignment with your body.
Yeah.
You use a drug to get healthy, but you stayed out of alignment. That misalignment is eventually going to lead you back to a negative spot.
Yeah.
And learning the skills of how to eat some of your favorite foods, strength train, all of the necessary skills you need as a healthy person, even your mindset, learning about the mindset of a healthy person, doing that is the best medicine for your life.
Ooh, that was good. Lewis, how is weight loss and fitness and all this related to mindset?
So in my personal opinion, weight loss is a reflection of how you see yourself. Your results of what you see in the mirror is a reflection of what's going on in your brain. So when you fix what's going on in your brain, you start having the right thoughts, you start loving yourself, and so that means you're eating right, you're going to the gym, you fix as a garden, you get the weeds out of your brain. Weight loss and what you see in the mirror, that is going to eventually flow into your life because it starts here. What you see in the outside world is a reflection of what's going on in your mind. So that's why when you work on your mental health, you work on your mood, you work on the vision of who you want to be, low key, you're doing so much work and you're going to see so much progress. But you seen that image where there's like an iceberg and all the results the majority of the results are under the water, under the surface. That's your mindset. Once you figure that out, what we see, this is a speck of what's going on in here. So that's why working your mindset is so important. It's the most underrated part of the weight loss journey is your mindset.
And you, like, when you lost all this weight, right? Like, I can attest to this because I'm your wife, but like, your life was kind of chaotic, right? In all areas of your life. Like, nothing was ever clean. Nothing was ever organized. Everything was like all over the place. And then now suddenly you've lost all this weight. And like your mindset is cleaner, your environment's cleaner, everything's more organized. Like, how did all that happen?
Losing weight and now who I am now, the main difference is my internal dialogue. My internal dialogue is better. I'm always working on it, but back when I was 40 pounds overweight, my life was chaotic because my mind was chaotic, because my relationship with myself was chaotic. And nothing crazy happened one day where I wanted to change myself, but it was just me having the guts to walk this path towards a version of who I wanted to be. Even though I couldn't see the next step, I knew that the path would illuminate as I started walking. And having that kind of courageous, almost trust in God that you can actually see a new version of you, that there's a creative essence here around you, I feel like that magic is something everyone should feel. And that's why everyone wants a transformation. Yeah. It's just proof that the magic is real, that you can change this vibration of who you are. You are a vibration. Everything is moving. So why not move it in the favor where you want it to go? And having that ability to have that creative, it's a unmatched feeling. It's a top tier feeling.
Yeah. And I think that taking care of your body, your vessel, that is like the top tier of evolving, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a body that we've been given, right? And to move forward and to take care of it and do all that. If you start to do that, like you said, the self-love piece, you start to propel forward, right?
But you also have to know what to do. Like, let's say you are 40 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
If I see you eating nuts and snacking on nuts, that means that you don't have the knowledge. So I actually looked up what the right way of eating was, what a calorie deficit is, what's protein, what effect does protein have on my body, and then not only being stuck in analysis paralysis, actually just being okay with winning the day. Because if you win the day and you don't worry about winning the week, but you win today, sun went up, by the time it goes down, you won. That's all you got to focus on. These short little wins stack up. You know how people say you won the battle, but you also have to win the war. The war is you finally winning and seeing that image in the mirror change. But you got to have the right strategy in place.
You went through having like personal trainers and then trying to do it on your own and doing all that, and none of that worked, right? It
Not
was
even work because I wasn't working.
yeah,
That's the problem,
yeah,
right? That, like I was saying, you don't need a master plan. You need to learn how to master the plan. And you got to learn how to master yourself. You got to learn how to master your internal dialogue with yourself, right? So start stacking wins. You lose 2 pounds, cool. Now you can lose the next 2 pounds. You're going to lose 10 pounds, 2 pounds at a time. Once you understand that and you can just do what you got to do, life gets unlocked.